Right, let me break down exactly what is going on at Manchester United right now, because there are several moving parts and they are all connected. By the end of this video, you will understand why Casemiro's exit actually opens a tactical door, why Maguire staying is more important than people think, and what the Tonali and Elliot Anderson links really tell us about how United plan to build this midfield next season. This is Red's view. Let's start with Casemiro, because everything else flows from this. Speaking after Brazil's 2-1 friendly defeat to France in Boston last week, Casemiro was completely clear. The decision is made, the announcement is done, and he is leaving in the summer when his contract expires. Now, here is the thing. Fans have been chanting for him to stay, and honestly, you understand why. He has scored 2 goals in his last 3 Premier League matches and has been rejuvenated under Michael Carrick. But this is not really about form anymore. A wage of £350,000 per week places considerable strain on the club's structure, especially as United look to refresh the squad with younger profiles. That is just the financial reality Ineos are working within. What is interesting tactically is how Carrick has been using him. Casemiro has started all 10 games under Carrick's tutelage, benefiting from the tactical nuances provided by a coach who truly understands his role. Carrick, a former holding midfielder himself, has kept things disciplined and structured around Casemiro, but that system will need a new anchor in the summer. Inter Miami have already started talks with Casemiro's camp, with Saudi and European options also on the table. But from United's perspective, that chapter is closing. The question is, who fills that void? Before we get to the transfers in, let's talk about one player staying. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Maguire has verbally agreed a new deal at Old Trafford, valid until June 2027, with a club option to extend to 2028. Now, some fans will roll their eyes at this, but think about it from a squad perspective. Maguire has been a key cog in Carrick's success over the last few months. Under Carrick's back four, he has been consistent, dominant in the air, and commanding at set pieces. His leadership in the dressing room, especially as United chase Champions League football, is not something you just replace. With a full rebuild coming in midfield and attack, keeping that defensive spine stable makes sense. United are not rebuilding everywhere at once. Maguire at the back gives you continuity, while the engine room changes around Kobbie Mainoo. Now this is the most interesting part. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Sandro Tonali is very high on Manchester United's shortlist, and that United have already made contact with Tonali's camp to be informed about his situation. Romano also stated that around the end of March to April, there will be conversations between Tonali's camp and Newcastle about his future, and there is a possibility Tonali considers a new chapter in the summer of 2026. Tactically, what does Tonali bring that United actually need? He is a proper box-to-box midfielder. He presses high, he wins the ball back, and he can carry it through lines. Alongside Mainoo, you get a midfield with energy, physicality, and technical quality. That is a proper Carrick-style engine room if you think about it. Now on Elliot Anderson. Anderson is also admired by Manchester United, though Manchester City are pushing harder for him right now, with both clubs following the same 2 players. Anderson is different to Tonali. He is creative, intelligent, versatile, someone who can play multiple roles in a midfield 3. If United get one of these 2, it changes the shape of what Carrick or Elsewon can do next season. The realistic picture for this summer? United have prioritised a midfield refresh and are expected to target at least 2 signings in the position, with Casemiro set to depart as a free agent and Manuel Ugarte potentially being sold after receiving interest in the winter window. So it is not just one signing. United need 2 midfielders. Tonali and one other is not a wild idea at all. One thing that often gets lost in transfer talk is where the money actually comes from. Romano confirmed that United expect to receive roughly €80 million this summer, €50 million from Rasmus Højlund joining Napoli permanently, and €30 million from Marcus Rashford's expected permanent move to Barcelona. That is a meaningful war chest, and it does not include potential income from other departures. Jadon Sancho and Tyrell Malacia are also set to leave when their contracts expire, and 5 other players are expected to depart for fees. This is important context. United are not scrambling. They are planning a structured overhaul, and the funds are being lined up in a methodical way. For me, Casemiro leaves with dignity and United's full respect, and his performances this season have reminded everyone what a proper holding midfielder looks like. The challenge now is finding that quality again, but younger. Maguire staying gives Carrick a reliable defensive foundation to build from. Mainu is the heartbeat, and if United land Tonali or make a strong push for Anderson, that midfield suddenly looks genuinely competitive again. The pieces are moving. The direction is clear. And for the first time in a while, United's transfer planning feels like it has a proper logic behind it. 7 games left this season. Champions League football is still the target. And how this window goes will depend heavily on making the right calls in midfield. That is the real story right now. If you found this useful, like the video and subscribe. We cover United from the training ground up, not just the headlines. And let me know in the comments, who's your priority signing this summer? I'll reply to everyone.